Good morning, boys and girls. Today I'm going to be reading you a book called Ryan and the Circus Wheels, and it's by Joni Eareckson Tada and a man named Norrin McGarry drew the pictures. A circus! A real circus with tents and everything, squealed Jennifer from the front seat of the van. Yeah, said Josh in the back seat, and there'll be tigers and lions. Roar! He growled and sank his fingers like claws into Jennifer's shoulders. Ryan sat slumped in the back, his eyes down and his arms folded across his chest. Ryan doesn't look too happy. Wonder why? Ordinarily, the idea of a three-ring circus with lions and tigers would make him tingle too. But this class trip wasn't turning out the way Ryan thought it would be. His sister Sharon, of all people, was filling in as room mother. Now all his friends knew the truth. His sister was in a wheelchair. Ah. Quiet down now, kids, Sharon said as she steered the van into the parking lot. But neither Jennifer nor Josh nor any of the other kids paid any attention. That's because she's in a wheelchair, thought Ryan. He gathered his things and piled out of the van with the rest. Who cares what people in wheelchairs say? Sharon tried to keep the group in line. They could hear lions roaring, food vendors shouting, and a pipe organ blasting out a dancing tune. A circle of juggling clowns practiced their balancing act, while a huge elephant and her baby stood sleepily nearby. I love elephants. Shannon raised her hands above her head and clapped loudly. Okay now, stick with me. Ryan stayed at the back of the group. In her wheelchair, he noticed, his sister was shorter than all his other friends. I wonder what they think about a room mother who's shorter than they are. With Ryan still lagging behind, the group's first stop was a red popcorn wagon, puffing and steaming and popping fresh corn. Shannon counted everyone's raised hand and placed her order with the jolly man in the red striped apron. Thanks, Shannon, said the kids as they scooped up handfuls of hot, salty popcorn. Jennifer flung her arms around Shannon's neck. Can I push you next? She asked. I can tell you're a great pusher, Shannon answered, but my brother hasn't had a turn yet. Ryan, would you like to help? Everyone looked at Ryan, and he just shrugged and nibbled some popcorn. When he didn't respond, Jennifer took her place behind Shannon's chair, while the others jumped and skipped about. Ryan watched his sister lead the way. She pointed directions and everyone followed. They're just following her to be nice to her, he reasoned. Then he felt crummy for thinking such a thought. Sharon took her place in the ticket line like everyone else. An organ grinder's monkey climbed up the spokes of her wheels and all the kids laughed. Shannon watched and waved as the group rode the merry-go-round. She parked outside the bathroom and waited for Ryan and his friends. I bet everyone feels sorry for her, Ryan thought. Well, he's not acting too kind towards his sister, boys and girls. Ryan walked slower and slower. He was so busy thinking about Shannon and her wheelchair, he stopped paying attention to where the group was heading. The next thing he knew, he looked up and they were gone. Josh! Jennifer! He shouted above the noise of pipe organs and peanut vendors. No one answered. Shannon! He called, dropping his popcorn and pushing his way through the crowd. Shannon, where are you? Ryan tripped and fell against somebody in a green polka dot suit with a large tummy that seemed far too soft. He looked up into the face of a clown. "Do you know where my sister is?" "Why, no, little boy," said the clown as he shifted and straightened the pillows around his middle. "But don't be afraid. I'll help you find her." Ryan said a quick prayer inside his head. And no sooner had he asked God for help than an idea dawned. "I know how to find her," he declared. "I'll just follow the tracks." "But how?" started the clown, but Ryan had already darted off. The sawdust was good for tracking, only there were so many tracks. Tennis shoes, high heels, boots, even horseshoes. Suddenly he saw them. Wheel tracks. He was on the right trail. Ryan rounded the corner of a tent. You can see all the tracks in the sawdust. Roar! A powerful tiger snarled at Ryan from his cage. "Oh my!" Ryan exclaimed to the tiger trainer. "I thought he was my sister." "Your sister?" the trainer laughed. "I don't think so. At least you don't look like a tiger to me. Can I help you find her?" Ryan knelt by the brightly colored wheels of the cage. They were wide with wooden edges. How could he have mistaken their tracks for Shannon's? Suddenly he spotted another set of tracks. He was on the trail again. Ryan followed Shannon's tracks through the sawdust, around 3 bales of hay, and in and out of a mud puddle. He almost got confused by the tracks of an ice cream cart. A moment later, the wooden wheels of a cotton candy wagon crossed his path. Ryan felt a moment of panic. People jostled and pushed in every direction. "Please, God," prayed Ryan, "don't let me get off the right trail." Then he spotted a wheelbarrow filled with feed. Ryan waved as he ran by 2 clowns on bicycles. There were wheels everywhere, but he knew which tracks belonged to Shannon. Can you see which tracks belonged to her? Ryan was sure he was hot on the trail, and suddenly something was wrong. One track crossed over the other. Sometimes the wheel tracks were close together, other times they were very far apart. Just then one of the tracks made a big circle while the other continued straight. Shannon's chair couldn't do that. Then Ryan saw who was making the tracks. I wonder what it is. Two acrobats on unicycles. Ryan felt like crying, but he stopped and prayed once more. Then he examined the ground. Those had to be Shannon's tracks, and they led him straight ahead. Ryan rounded a stack of straw. There were Shannon and his classmates waiting by the entrance to the circus tent. "There he is!" shouted Jennifer, and the other kids cheered. "You found us!" Ryan ran past them into the open arms of his sister. He nearly tipped her chair up on one wheel, and he gave her such a big hug. He was so happy to find them. I would be too. "Oh, Shannon," Ryan blurted out, "I'll never be." He felt his cheeks get red. Then he took a deep breath, looked her straight in the eyes, and continued, "I'll never be embarrassed about your wheelchair again. God used your wheels to lead me right to you." "Hey, neat," Josh said. "Let us get lost, Shannon, and then try to find you by your wheels." The other kids clapped their hands. "Please, Shannon." Ryan turned and smiled at his classmates. They really did like his sister. In fact, they even seemed to like her wheelchair. They thought she was different, but in a special way, not a mean one. Ryan felt ashamed. He was the one with the not so nice thoughts. As he watched Josh and Jennifer move to either side of Shan to give her a hug, suddenly Ryan noticed something else. Sure, Shannon was short in her wheelchair, but that just made her easier to hug. All of us have bad thoughts once in a while. The problem gets worse when, like Ryan, we let our bad thoughts go on and on. They might be angry thoughts about God or unkind thoughts about other people. Before we know it, those thoughts fill our minds and we lose track of what we really want to be doing or thinking. Like Ryan, we need to get our thoughts back in line by praying. We need to get back on the right track. God's word says, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And that's found in the New Testament.